All right. Let's get started on this random code stream. So, click that, get that refreshed because OBS isn't picking that up anymore. Yada, yada, yada. No. Why are you not doing that? Sometimes my phone's YouTube app ends up acting a little weird. There we go. There we go. Cool. All right. So I want to do a change of pace and work on a feature for rocks that I just ran into. Or it's kind of a feature / bug. So, and calling it a bug, it's mostly just a limitation. Rocks just doesn't do this, so this is actually allowing something to happen now, or will, if I can get this to work correctly. I will, again, start the music shortly, as I always do with random code streams, because sometimes I just sit here and think, because I'm like, how am I going to make this happen? How am I going to make this work? So that's why I keep the headphones on, just to make sure the volume of the background music doesn't go completely too loud. So this is, I'll explain this feature and then I'll get into it. So I actually ran into this, was a couple days ago at work. I was looking to mock something, and on the project I'm on, we actually used rocks, which is nice. You do the whole eating your dog food type of thing. And we have a type that basically looks something like this. And if this looks a little weird, this is called the curiously recurring generic pattern. And I actually have a couple of links that talk about this. This one by Stephen Cleary is actually a really good one. It talks about, but why though? Why would I actually want to define a type this way? Why is my frame rates dropping like a madman? That's, well, it's not going to be awful if I'm doing a non-gaming stream, but I should ask my family, hey, if you're not downloading anything, are you? I usually coordinate that better. All right, well, hopefully it doesn't look too bad. Again, I don't really care about the frame rate being horrible, because it looks on my phone, it's looking a little choppy, but hopefully it clears itself up. So in any event, he says, but why though? And he talks about, why would you want to use this pattern? So if you're not familiar with it or don't know what it's about or why you would do something like that, check out that article. It's in this. I put it in the description of the thing I'm going to work on, which is issue 344 on the Rocks repository. You can see it in GitHub right there. So if you want to check that out, feel free to do so. Man, why is it dropping so many? It does this occasionally, and I don't know why it does this. Let me just check something real quick. It was working fine for the past 2 or 3 days. No issues with. Oh, it seems to have stopped now. The drop frame rate's going. It hasn't gone up. So, see, that's if you looking at something about your network, and as soon as you're like looking at tests or anything like that, it all just it all gets better or something. I don't know. All right, so 5706. Okay, cool. Anyway, so this pattern lets you basically call it recursive, but it allows you to say, hey, the thing that's being passed into here is of this type. So it feels a little bit weird, but if you read his article and explaining like if an interface wants to use a full derived type as a method parameter, define those methods itself without putting any burden on the derived type. Okay. So creatable of this. So then you just put the constraint on it, and then it basically makes everything fall through and look really nice, for lack of a better term. The thing that causes this to not work in not C# but in rocks is because if you define the rock attribute this way, it's going to create a class like this, and it of course is going to say, hey, you need to provide a type for the generic parameter, but what do you put in there? Because the mock type typically, in fact always in rocks, is private, and that's done on purpose, in part because it generates constructors that require specific things passed into it, like expectations that are going to be used by the mock when it's being used. And I could make that public, but then that would allow you to make your own instances, and that can get a little confusing because it's like, the whole point of rocks is to make that so that just happens seamlessly and you don't see it at all. But in this case, you're stuck because you can't pass in that mock type here. And so if you look at this, this is basically saying, hey, if I could make that public, then I could pass that in, and I believe that would fix everything. So yeah. So what I realized is, I maybe could try to figure out if you've run into this case, but I know with static abstract members and interfaces, I'm going to run into the fact that I will have to make the mock type public. So basically create an attribute, or create a enum that you can pass into the attribute that will always be no. It's going to be a different value and a different name, but the developer can say, in this case, I want to make it public or at least internal, and then I can pass that in here, and then everything will work. So at the end of the day, this feature shouldn't take a lot of effort and work to do. Of course, that's goes without saying that as soon as you say something simple, it's going to be really hard or more of a pain than you realize. And this may not actually fix it. I believe it will. I believe it will fix it, but assuming that it does, actually, there's a really easy way to, I'm going to assume it's just going to work. And then you can do this, and then everything should just fall through, and if it doesn't and it doesn't work, guess what? That's why we make branches in Git, because you just say, screw it, and delete the whole thing, right? All right, so I've got my checklist here of things I'm going to need to do. So, and by the way, the code analysis package for Microsoft is, let's look at that right now. All of them are currently still final. So you see that they're final? And it's not it's not a big deal, but they always lag behind the latest release. And so .NET 9 came out, what was that, a couple weeks ago, at least. And these are still final packages. I know there are reasons why all of the code analysis packages and related packages lag in terms of when something is released either in Visual Studio or in .NET. But it's a little annoying because I really don't want to release Rocks 9.0.0 until I am referencing, if you look at packages, I am referencing the final version of this thing and also this thing as well. So there's no more changes that need to be done in main, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a branch for the 9.1 feature set and then branch off of that. And once I can actually make the 9.0.1 what the final versions of the package is, I'll just merge it up and then merge that up again. And it won't be a big deal. At least it shouldn't be a big deal. So in any event, that's the goal today, is to make this enum that I'm going to pass into this value, into these attributes, pick it up, and then when I build the mock type, just look at what this value is. It should be private by default, but if it's set to something else, then I'll make it either internal or public, and that's it. And then I'm going to write a test do some updated docs, and this should be done. All right, so with that, let's get some background music going. And again, this music is stuff that I've written in the past. It's all instrumental, and I just keep it looping as I go through. So just something that to have in the ears while I'm not talking. So, all right. So the first thing we need to do is make a new branch. I'm going to call this feature. Really? Really? Are you kidding me? Okay. That's a little surprising. I thought you could actually do that. Oh, you have to have characters after it. Okay. I was like, that's bull. I know you can do that. Okay, so 9.1.0. There we go. I have one uncommitted change. Really? What's the... Oh, I'm on the latest. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Get commit back to latest. No big deal. Okay, so now we'll do get new branch feature / 9.1.0. And then off of that, we're going to have this. And it's just a convention I've done, which is to put the issue number first and then the name of the feature or bug after. Hey, whatever works, whatever works. Okay, so we already got one thing off the list here. Two things, actually. And actually, I also want to put this now under the docs here. Because I always keep the notes of what I'm doing on an issue, if I have any. Mostly for just historical purposes, that's all. So... all right, so now we need to make that enum. Where do we want to put it? Probably in the same place the attributes are. So let's grab the name of what I came up with before. And do that. Public. If I could actually type enum. We'll need, the default will be private, public default. Are you going to bark at me because, yeah, I'm missing XML comments? I wish I had Copilot. just do all the things for me. Why did you put bin there? That makes no sense. Did I accidentally type that? Come on. Give me... I need to get Copilot installed. This is where Copilot would be better, just to fill in the blanks. Allows a developer to specify the visibility of the generated type. Specifies the visibility as private. And then let's just copy this. Public. And then this would be the default. What the heck? Internal. Where did that come from? Internal. Because you could have a library. I think this is actually what somebody said, is they use rocks where they put rocks in a library and it generates stuff, and then they want to reference it from another assembly. And it didn't cause a visibility issue, but there was something that was kind of odd with that. So it is possible to do that. So maybe you want to make it public, maybe you just want to make it internal. Up to you. All right. So that's done. And now we need a optional parameter. Wait. Well, that explains why did it put it here? That makes no sense. Sure, delete them all. I just... What in the... It's not trying to bring in... Wait, what? What is going on here? Yeah, you don't want that there, do you? Because that's not what we had. Just get rid of that. Oh my God. I have no idea why that even did that. Whatever. Don't know, don't care. Not my monkeys, not my circus. Okay, so we have mock type visibility. There. Now, let's go to rock attribute. And this is where we want to have mock type visibility, which is going to be equal to private by default. The visibility of the mock default is can you say private? There. Okay. That's good. And we're going to want to put it to something. This is now that. And of course we don't have that. We need public mock type visibility. Let's just say visibility gets the gets the visibility of the mock type. Okay, so actually let's change this to visibility. Oh, yeah. My typing skills are lacking at the moment. Okay, so build type, mock type, and visibility. And we're also going to want to do the same thing on partials. So we're just going to do a bit of copy pasta for a moment. And then we'll do that. Okay. And then we'll say no. And we'll grab that. There. Okay, so now that's done. So that gets passed into the builder infrastructure. And the way to do that is we go into the generator. So I need to do this for the generator and... Oh no, this has both of them. That's right. Okay, so we need to get the values. Var visibility is going to be except mock type visibility. Okay, so we're going to grab that. Also going to do the same thing down here, but let's focus on this one. So now we do all that. Yes. So mock model create is going to need to take another parameter, mock type visibility, okay. And somewhere down here, We actually passed that, I believe. Yes. Mock type visibility. Visibility. Naming's hard. Okay. So we're obviously we're not passing that in here. So that gets that passed into the model. And then down here, there's probably, yeah. And then we do this. And then here, same thing. Now this should not have broken anything because it's an optional parameter. You don't need to specify right now. So all of the tests, the unit tests, should run and nothing should have, or everything just breaks. What in the world are you talking about? Oh God, what is this? Does that build? What? And see, okay, this is annoying because it's saying it failed, but it doesn't show me what failed. They're here. I believe in this case it doesn't even matter. These are the shim things, and I don't think it really matters for those. Rock Analyzer. We can just default it to being private. Same thing up here. Yep. Only in the case where it comes to the attribute do we care. Okay. And so then let's run the tests. Oh, the mock model, yes. Well, guess what's going to happen? A lot of that. Because in these cases, we don't care. This has nothing to do with the visibility, but because it's a parameter and this is in a test, we do need to have that value passed in, but it would make no difference to what we're actually trying to test in this code. Okay. What about now? Does this actually build? Nope, but we can't see it because that would just be silly. All right, now do you build? Yes. All right, now let's run all the tests. This will take a couple seconds. Enjoy the background music. And again, this shouldn't have broken anything. Because none of my unit tests, when I specify the attribute, do anything there. Okay, cool. All right, so now, generators. Let's go mock type visibility tests. Mock type visibility generator tests. So in this case, what I want to do, add class. So we want to generate a test. We have to make a post. So let's go look at copy pasta here, interface. So we sort of want to do something like this. Did I grab? Yeah, I did. Okay. So we want to generate when visibility visibility is internal. And then we'll do one where it's public. So iService. We don't care at all about, and we only care about the curiously repeating pattern stuff here. We don't care about that. That's actually going to be done in an integration test. But what we want to do here is just like void do. We don't care what it does. Okay. Except we're going to say mock type visibility internal. Okay. And so we should have well, this is actually create. Why? Oh, because okay, never mind. That's a different case. Do you ever go back and look at your code and you're like, why did I do it this way? Well, that's why. All right, so we'll grab this. And we'll make one of those and that and this. And we'll just say iService. Service. This will be a create. Okay. So let's run this and let's get our generated code. I can't remember if it's going to make one more here. It might. Oh, okay, never mind. This should be a simple one. Come on. Go away. Are you pinned? Why are you pinned? Okay, so let's move you over. Come on. And then let's do that. What in the... No, that. There we go. Okay. And then let's run this again. And we should be getting the mock stuff here. Mock stuff here. You know what I mean. And this would also have to be for the make. The make has to... Okay, so we got that. But this is showing when it's internal. We also need to run this test for the partial name stuff. So that's internal by default. Well, isn't development fun? So the partial stuff, I should have a test here for partial, not expectations. Oh yeah, I do. Okay. So this is saying it's public. This is saying it's public. So this, okay, this just confirms something in my head. If you want to have a different name and a different visibility for the generated expectations type, you use rock partial as you see here. But that still will make the type private. You have to then also pass in to the type. What am I getting? Okay, I was getting a bunch of buzzing. But the mock type is controlled by that attribute. It's feeling just a little dicey here at the moment, but I think I'm okay with this. So this will be internal, but this should now be internal. By setting that internal, it should have made this internal, and then if I come down here, it should have also made this internal. So I already know this is going to fail because if I run this, I should at least get an error or two saying there's like differences. And so if you look at this and you scroll all the way through, you'll see that, yeah, hey, it's supposed to be private and you're making it internal. How dare you? And then I think if no, it's just that. So it's only comparing the first and it fails. Okay, that's fine. So I want to do this, generate, and then we need to generate partial. So let's go back up here. Say generate partial. So now in this case, what I'm going to say is public partial. What did I do? Public partial class. Okay. Public partial class service expectations. Doesn't matter. Except this is not assembly. This will be rock partial. And I think, yeah, in that case, it's create or make. And then we'll say generate partial create. You may wonder why one or the other, because in the partial case, I don't know if you want to make a create or make or both. And if you make both, though, they both can't have this name here. Now, as I said this, I just realized what I could have done is say, well, the name of the type is generated, but you're specifying the name here when you use rock partial. So you can't have both. You got to do one or the other. So I can say here, generated code. And let's get rid of this. Hey, Control M works. I was having issues with that in the preview version so now we'll say, I think we say, what do we say here? I don't remember. Oh yeah, so I say the name of the type and then I say partial. Really? That's a stupid thing to do. The name of the file doesn't really matter that much, but I bet that's going to bite me at some point in the future. Okay, so we say partial create. This should now say service expectations here. But that should still be that. So now if I run this, it fails, and I bet it's failing because it's expecting that to be public. Yes, that's right. You right. But now this should fail because the actual... Wait a minute, why are you... Oh, I didn't... God. I did not... I'm not following my own rules. I don't know how my own code works. How could that be possible? Okay, never mind. There's too much of a difference between them with naming and stuff. Let's just get this generated. And copy pasta. Most of this is just getting all the tests set up, but, you know, if you've ever written tests, you know. So now this should be internal, right? And then this is going to bark because it's thinking, oh, this is good, except when you get down to this, and that should be private. Cool. Okay, so now let's do the same thing, except let's make sure that's a make. Partial make. Okay, so then let's play this game and that game and this game and that game. Yeah, I don't know why I named the file this way. Now that, you know, when I look at it, I'm like, why did I do that? Okay, give me the... Really? Oh my god, why don't you put the little thing in the top there? You may be wondering what he's talking about. Well, it didn't put the red X above the method name, or the method there when the test failed. So I was like, how dare you? Okay, and now we just have to say this is internal. Okay, I can do the public ones in a moment, but what I want to do now is I have tests around this. So that gets us a start. Let's go into rocks here, and we need to do this for both the mock builder here. Shoot. This is passing in mock model create. That passes this in, but where's it going? We pass it into mock model information. Damn it, that's wrong. Because when I get into mock builder here, I just have type mock model. I don't have that, and I need this. Mock type accessibility. Really? I always surprise myself on a Friday. What am I doing here? This is the expectations. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, that's different. Where are we actually... Here is where we're making... Yes, this is where we're making it, and that's where we got to change. Okay, and we do need it on the type mock model. Let's get rid of a couple things here. So this does not go there. It goes there. That goes away. And then the type mock model. This is also, yeah, every time I build something in this, it's always like it feels a little squirrely. The thing I'm getting a little bit like about is, turn on the music just a touch, is yes, by the time I get here, the only thing I have is a type mock model. But you know, no, I don't like that. So who calls this? That gets called from here. And then who calls the builder? And who calls that? What's a mock here? Mock model information. Okay, you know what? Wait, hold on. Back up the bus here. I want to pass that value through and flow it. It doesn't make sense to put in the type mock model. It should be here. That's actually correct. Mock type visibility. But now what we're going to do is we're going to force it all the way up. So here we want to say visibility. Okay. So if our visibility is equal to, if this is private, it's going to, no, stop it. Private. Else, if mock type visibility is internal, I know you're probably just like, well, just, we know it'll be public. Those are the only values that it could be. Oh, mock. So if we say visibility is equal to that, otherwise if we say that, there we go. Okay, I just had a brain fart for a second. And now what we can say here is no, that. Okay. So now we are able to control that, and the same thing goes for the make. We want to do the same thing here. And so what that's going to do, I know, copy paste code. I'm such an evil person. Come on. There we go. Cool. So we got that. We got that. And now what I need to here is just basically wherever this is not passing the visibility through, mock type, we just keep forcing it and up and up the chain. Except when we get to a point where for some reason Visual Studio just is not able to handle all of the breakage. Where did I put it here? Yep. Okay. And yes, we're going to have to capture here. So we'll do this. This visibility is equal to visibility, and then we can just make a private mock like that, and then we've got it, and then that lets us do this visibility. All right, build again. What did we miss? More. Yes, we can say mock.visibility. Easy enough. But we have to work up the other half, don't we? So in this case, we also have to do mock type visibility, this. I know it's trying to be the world's friendliest puppy trying to give me advice. Private mock type visibility. Okay. And then that allows us to do that. What doesn't build now? Probably the ones, yeah. All right, and now that all works. Okay. Let's go to the tests and see what doesn't run, because I bet it's going to be a lot. We don't need that. We don't need that. Let's come up to here and see what happens when we run this test. Well, it runs. It passes! Holy shit. I totally redlined the mic. Do I not have this on repeat? Repeat. And do not shuffle. Come on, go. Need something going on in the back. That's awesome. Actually, that's really cool. That passes now. That passes now. What happens if we run all the tests here? Again, nothing else should break. The afternoon sun is blaring behind me. I know I should get like a screen behind me, but whatever. Cool. Let's commit 344. Added mock type visibility to attributes. Now this should push. Where's this going to push? I'm assuming it's going to push to 9.1. Because I think... Yeah, because I can get rid of these. These are just local. If I look at the remote, it's just literally main. I'm almost positive. And then let's push that. And now we've got... I said push that. There we go. Okay, I was like, it better be pushing. Yeah, that's from... Back to... Yeah, that was the one I just... Okay, cool. We're good. Just took me a second to realize what was going on. All right, so... We did that. We're halfway done with the tests. So if we go back into... Let's close all this off. Go back down here. We're going to copy and paste all of this. You know what? Actually, what I'm going to do here is I've done this in a couple of other places. I don't remember where, though. What I want to do is say, these are the internal ones. These are the public ones. And so far what we're doing, we just did the internal ones. So we're going to say internal static partial class. Okay. Right. because these are internal. Wait. Whoa. The internal, yeah, this is zero stat partial. Right, and this is the public. So we want to say is public here. Okay, so then we make this public. That should just have the effect of making this public. Well, if I could type. And then the make, that should make this, no, not that, this public. Visibility is public. 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 And then we come down here and we say is public. Public. It's like when you say the same word over and over again. Now, did I catch all of them? That's create. That's the make. That's, okay, so let's see. This should run 6 because it's a partial class. Yep, it did. Okay, cool. So let's shut down, start up again. And we're going to make the integration test now. Wait, shh. Ah, crap. Did I just do the wrong thing? Am I on the wrong branch? Yeah, I am. But what I should be able to do is say manage branches. Bring the changes. Yeah, uncommitted change will be available. Continue checkout. Okay, so cool. Thank you. I remembered that feature being there, and yeah, that's awesome. Okay. So let's just before we go into the void, let's make sure that we've got these tests here running. And we do. All right, so now let's go up to our integration tests and let's do a what do we call this again? What is this thing called again? Let's bring this back up to like 100. Wait, what? Wait. Oh my God, why? It's like, why did it shut it? I'm like, don't shut it. Okay. What's a good name? Mock visibility test. That is as good as a name as anything. Mock visibility tests. And we kind of want to follow, there's a pattern I've been following in this. So we say that. Right. So this will be the public's, well, actually internal. That's something that they're pushing now with the analyzers, is that there's something that isn't public. You know, they can just make it internal, but that's fine. Okay, let's go back to here and let's grab this. Except put the tab there because that's good. And now what we want to do is, I don't really care about testing both cases, right? Because I just want to test the one that makes the most sense, if that makes any sense. By the way, I'm going to complain to anybody from Microsoft watching this. This IDE 0058 expression value is never used. When you're doing Fluent APIs, this sucks because you're intending not to use the thing that's returned unless you want to keep calling stuff. And I don't want to not have this on because if I'm returning a value from a method that I should be using something from, you know, it felt like whoever created this really didn't think about the Fluent API case, as far as I can tell. It's not an error. It's showing as red, but it really isn't an error, which is another thing in and of itself. Anyway, what I should be able to do is go into here, not there. Where do I put my mock definitions? That's right. I knew I had one. This is called mock availability. We want to have mock visibility test types, processor, and we could say build type creator or build type make. Yes, that's fine. That's fine. So we can have a test here, public void create. Let's see if this works now. Oh, wait a minute. Mock type visibility. Public. That's crucial. Var expectations is equal to new iProcessor, create expectations of iProcessor, create expectations dot, oh, crap. You see what's happening here? Speaking about being curiously recurrent or recursive or whatever the frickin' phrase is. Yeah, I can't do this. The reason why is because this is taking something that is of this type where it is this constraint. This would have it, well, I can't get to it right now, but I end up having to recursively call whatever the generic parameter is going to be here. And that doesn't work. Oh, shoot. Well, it was a good try. That was about an hour's worth of work that goes down the toilet. But like I said, that's why we have branches, because I could just delete them all and start over again. No big deal. No loss whatsoever. Yeah, it's making the mock. Like if I go to this, whoops, not that. It should be up here somewhere. Yeah, here it is. So you can see it's public. I have no idea how I'm gonna, I like this too. You can rerun the generator. That's actually, this isn't all for a loss, because I thought I had seen something like this in Visual Studio 2022 preview, where you can just tell it when you're opening a file that you're looking at, to rerun the generator if the generator has changed. I believe this will reload the generator. I'm not sure about that though. Yeah, whatever. Okay, so how do I handle this? And what's interesting, oh, that's right. That's right. You don't have to put the constraints here because the constraints are specified there. And this is why they say things like don't put constants on, well, it's not the same thing, but close to it, that you shouldn't put constants on generic types because you have to pass in a generic to actually resolve the constant. This is sort of ish the same thing in that to even reference this, I have to put in this here. The interesting thing as I'm looking at this is, well, unfortunately though, it does assume that the mock is available to the stuff within the expectations. Crap. What did I say at the beginning of the stream? What I thought would be simple is not so simple. Yeah, this won't work the way it is right now. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind. The problem is yeah, if I could say the mock was here, I'd be golden, but I can't do that. The point of this is that you can close it off by putting that in there. It's just that it ends up that the constraint is put here. And then I can't reference the mock type. I am not sure how I can do this at all unless I do a major bunch of surgery to rocks. And the scary-ish sad thing is, if I want to do static abstract members and interfaces, I have to figure this out because a lot of the things in generic math, those interfaces that use static abstract members use this pattern a lot. And so if I don't have a way to handle this, then I'm really screwed. Just drumming. What happens if you use... I don't know if this is going to work. Let's go to SharpLab and get frustrated. And I say that because SharpLab has been a pretty big pain in the butt recently in terms of, like, it changes everything as you're editing it. So let's see. So let's say we have an internal class iStuff. Okay. And I say public sealed class. Or actually, let's actually go the worst route. Public sealed class. Nope. Mock. Doesn't matter what it is right now. And then I have an internal class I. This will be sealed. Sealed class iStuff of T. Doesn't matter what T is, which derives from iStuff. Okay, and so now here I say, let's just have this do something. Public int do. And let's just have this do random number generator create. No, I don't want it to create. Get in 32. That. Oh, for God's sakes. In 32 max. Okay, so now here the intent is what I want is to be able to make an instance or cmock. So I'll have a public void produce, and what this is going to do is a new mock. You can't see it. What it could do here yes, there we go. I keep wanting to say save. So if I say iStuff and it doesn't matter, int produce. Oh, I want to say new. Produce. Oh, I need this to actually allow me to return something. There. And we can't have this. Is this like going on random? Repeat. It shouldn't be shuffling. Now is it shuffling? Don't shuffle. Whatever. I was thinking maybe I could do something kind of funky where I put this within ISO, but that gets me right back to the same problem again, which is the outer class needs to be referenced, and I don't want that. But, oh, bite me. Well, that sucks. I get why it's doing this, sort of, because it's saying if you inherit from this, but this has a bigger visibility, you could be expanding out where you're not intending to. Stop trying to save the file. Well, This is going to lead to a bigger change than what I intended. Because everywhere where I'm creating the mock, if you look down here, instance, this would now need to be changed to saying iProcessor create expectations dot. But I would only need to do this if the containing expectations type is generic. If it's not, then I don't need to do this. I can leave the mock type within the enclosing type, and that's just fine. But if the enclosing type is generic, I want to move that into basically the mock stuff here. And then when I actually do an instance down here, I would say the name of the expectation type sans and generics dot mock. And that would still work because it would come up into here. It's just moving that stuff around. Now that would allow me because the only thing I would put in here is the mock type. But that has a problem. Because as I just did here, this is expecting to have the value closed by what you pass in here. This defines what the type parameter is going to be. And so this would not work because those two aren't the same. God. I think I'm stuck. I honestly don't know if there's any way to get around this. And this is a big deal. This is actually a really, really, really big deal. Well, wait a minute, no. Let's say I just made this T. Okay, fine. Boom. The problem becomes if this is deriving from something, like I'm doing with this pattern. So let's grab that code again. Put that in our little so what we want to say is mock is actually deriving from iProcessor of mock. Which, yes, I'm not. Fine. Void, public void process. Doesn't matter what it does. Now, but yeah, let's actually try to get this to be, screw that. So now I could say process here. Stop trying to What is the problem here? Oh, void. Now here, we would want to I stuff mock, but guess what? That doesn't work. Except if we made this public, and it still doesn't work. But what we could do is that, right? And then that works. Which, yeah, it doesn't produce anything. It's not outputting anything, but this does work. So this is close-ish, other than the problem that how would I know, like, in a very easy way, that I actually have to pass this type into here, and I can't. That gets really ugly in a hurry. It's still not good enough. It's still not quite there. Sorry, I need all my tabs. But again, I've got to figure out something, because if I want to do static abstracted members, I got to figure out a way to make this happen. And this has been nice. Everything in Rocks has been nice up until this point. It gets back to the same problem. The point of using this pattern is that I can do that. But how would I be able to know how to do that from a code generation perspective? Like, even remotely trying to figure this out, that this is actually a recursive pattern. This CRGP, whatever they're calling it. I don't. Well, I could-ish if I'm smart enough to figure out that, hey, this is being passed into here. But do I really want to go through the pain of trying to figure that out? That feels really, really painful. But I yeah, you can't. I was like, You can't put this stuff like in here and then make this abstract, and that doesn't work. I don't think I'm going to be able to figure it out in this stream. I think I've kind of hit my breaking point. I can't get my head around how I'm going to be able to handle this pattern. And I would really like to be able to solve this, but I am not seeing a way to get around this. Not even close. It seems if... Why does it keep going back and forth between those two songs? I have no idea. Because as soon as I try to like put the generic here, then it screws up down here. And the whole point of the pattern is that you're passing in the type into this, and so it just automatically works. CSLA, framework that my friend Rocky made, he actually has had that in there for quite a long time, that pattern. And so you say like customer, which derives from business basic customer. And for reasons. But yeah, this really gets messed. Rocks gets really messed up if you use that pattern type. It just won't work, and I don't like that. I don't like saying that something isn't going to work in Rocks, and that does not sit well with me. So I think what I'm going to do is just stop streaming for now, because I'm not saying a magical idea is going to come into place. There might be no way to really reasonably make this work. And if that's true, that pretty much puts a kibosh on the static abstract members. I don't think it would work at all. So yeah, I really, really need to think this through hard and determine if there's any possible way to salvage this. This becomes, in my mind, a big gaping hole in Rocks if I can't do this. I mean, for most stuff I've been using in my project, this works just fine, but you throw in this one pattern and you literally can't use Rocks anymore. You're screwed. There's no way to get around it as far as I can tell. And that ain't good at all. So, I'm going to stop here for now. Noodle in my brain on this, and we'll see what I come up to later. I do plan on streaming tonight and starting the Shadow of the Tomb Raider game. I finished Portal 2 earlier this morning, so I'm planning on playing that game tonight. And hopefully, if you're around, you can stop by that stream and check that out as I try to make Lara Croft raid more tombs. So thank you all for watching. Take care. If you're watching and you haven't subscribed before, please subscribe. I'm trying to get to the 1,000 subscriber mark. I would greatly appreciate that. So again, thank you all for watching. Take care, and I hope to see you in the future.